That's a whole other philosophical question as to whether or not you can justify suffering. Because, I mean, once you get into that argument or that conversation, it becomes a whole... You really see the gross nuances of people and the vindictive, callous nature of humans, right? Whether or not suffering can be justified. Or is, under certain contexts, certain pretexts, certain circumstances and scenarios.
For me personally, I want to keep my name for my own branding. For like the average couple, I think you could hyphenate it. I think
if you had a kid,
that's not traditional though.
Yeah. So, and if you had a kid,
I said some traditional values. My point was,
so you only want the traditional values that benefit you.
It's not.
Yes. Yes. Why? I want the fat lady to just be like yes again. Yes. She's the one that's being most honest, which I appreciate.
About benefiting. It's about evening out the fact that
evening out. Because of crap that other people apply to your own individual autonomous relationship. I have to treat this thing that me and you are doing because of that crap over there. That's what you're doing. But, of course, you know, you're not going to admit that. Accountability is not a big thing for feminists, American feminists, Western feminists.
My reproductive role is not 50-50, so why would we go 50-50 on bills?
Well, what about the fact that
we can't go 50-50 on that caregiving aspect?
But if you are in the caregiving aspect and you're staying at home, you're taking care of the kid, your obligation to that is only 18 years.
Oh, God. He probably has kids, too. Son of a bitch. 18 years. 18 years, she got one of you kids, got you. What do you mean? You're a parent for the rest of your life. Ah, they met this arbitrary number that the law has defined them into be an adult. Let me just... Like, what? Don't have kids. If you're not... As a mother, you have a child, you only have to be in the house for 8... What? Like, how old is this guy? Do you not, like, what? Do you not know how life... Anything, and is that what you think it is to be a mom or a parent? Like, is to just be around for a little bit? Oh, you're good, figure it out. Like, why did you have the kid? That's what I meant. You don't know why you have kids. You just do it because you think you're supposed to. It's a perceived biological imperative. And yes, perceived. It's not so much that you have the drive to, like, I want to pop out babies. You want to fuck, that's it. That's the thing that causes the other thing, right? Nature, so that you can continue exist. But like, this is modern civilization. You can do whatever you, nothing matters. Go do anything. But here you are saying, supposed to, roles. You do this, you do that, I do this because those guys think this, therefore I think this. Shut up, all of you. You're all wrong, all of you. You're all just a bunch of mindless animals. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it.
So if he's working, right? He's working to support you the entire time. Mm-hmm. After that obligation is done, he's still working and you're not working.
You stop being a parent once the kid turns 18. Then they could just do their own thing. But the dude, he still has to make money to support who? The kid that you said is now just its own person and now they're just off doing it. Oh my God. I really hope this guy doesn't have any goddamn children. And if they do and they ever see this video, I'm sorry that this is your father. I'm sorry. Freaking greaseball, Goodfellas looking ass. Freaking looking like you're gonna go to goddamn Sunday service. Freaking buttoned up khaki ass looking ass. Why is my look what it did.
So in some ways you get a shortcut to retirement. Example.
Oh my God, now he's using his haphazardly, loosely defined idea of reality to like build a sequence of something that he could use as an argument. Because this and this and that and this, right? So therefore I can do this. Shut up.
Wow. Yo, AB check. Thank you so much, man, for the gifted 50 memberships. An example?
Yeah, example. Me and my wife, okay? The youngest one that I have now left at home, 12 years old.
And in 6 years you bail. 18 years. 18 years. She got one of your kids. Got you for 18.
Okay. That's not gonna, or 11, sorry, 11 years old.
Somebody paying child support for one of the kids. Baby mama car crib is bigger than his.
It's not that long.
Sorry, 7 years. He forgot the age of his child.
Okay, that's only what, you know, a few short years before she may launch out of the pad.
Yeah, you think they're gonna learn? You're gonna think they're gonna be able to move out immediately, huh? Unless maybe if they're working like a couple slave jobs and they scrounge up and they don't have any recreation, they just be tortured for years and then have a little bit in savings, and then hopefully they don't come across anything that siphons all. Because remember, it's a slave state. It's a disgusting, corrupt slave state that actively siphons money from the working class into the pockets of lazy, rich parasites, essentially. But right, you don't care about how the world works. You're just making up your own crap. Because you're dumb. Because you're dumb.
Well, now my wife, she's pretty young. She's still pretty young.
Is that the tradition? All right, I'm not going to address that. We already went over Boogie.
And she'll still be fairly young even when that happens. But I'll still be taking care of and paying all the bills. She won't have to do any of that. Right?
No, not right. You don't suddenly stop becoming a parent when the child turns 18. You're a parent for the rest of your life. You still need to be around. You still need to, like, show your support. Crazy! I don't even ever want kids. I think that's all mine. I never want to be a parent. It's all mindless nonsense. Yet I'm a better parent than you already. What? You just don't. You have an elementary understanding of responsibility and obligation. All of the people sitting here don't know what they're doing. So I guess it makes sense why this frickin' Ted Cruz popped into my head. Yeah, that's fair.
So yes, she took care of her obligation on the front end, but on the back end, the man's still working the entire time. So I don't see where this idea of fairness comes from you when you say, well, it's because I have to give birth and then stay at home. It's like, well,
thank you, Honda.
That's the easier job, one, and then two,
more oppression Olympics. It's harder for me. It's harder for you. Just negate individual circumstance and scenario. Let's just like and negate individual input. Let's just forget about that. It's harder for me as it is a male when I'm in this specific traditional setup that I've consented to, that I believe I'm supposed to do because someone else told me and I feel it. Now here we are on at whatever, right? Sharing our mindless piece of crap opinions.
You're paid for even after the child's no longer needs 24-hour assistance. And remember the time frame when that happens.
So if they don't need so then when they turn like 4 or 5 or something, when they can when all you got to do is just tell them to. See, he just has very general, like, I know he's just using these terms to describe, like, I get what he's saying, sure, but it's like, if we were to see this applied to his life and the way that he conducts it, I guarantee you it wouldn't be. There's a bunch of stuff that he gets wrong. Guarantee it, right? I mean, if this is the way that you're contextualizing how you parent or how people are supposed to raise their children, it's like, what does that look like? You think the kid moves out immediately when they're 18 and you're not supporting them? How? Unless they find a way to really make good money, and that's not through any job. Any wage job they work, that's not gonna, unless they're living with someone else who's also upping them, you're not gonna be able to hack it unless they've found a way to succeed exponentially monetarily. They're not going to be able to do that. But of course, I mean, this guy's probably older, so he probably doesn't really know how the modern net landscape works. Yeah, I mean, granted, all this stuff he's saying, so.
It's only the first 2-3 years when they really need round-the-clock assistance.
Yeah, I'm not correlating it to round-the-clock assistance, and also, yeah, most couples have more than one child, and yeah, so it's not just the first 18 years, it could be up to 30 years in theory.
Yeah, even if it's 30 years.
Yeah.
No. You're a parent, so if they call you on the phone, pick up, hey daddy, and you're just like, son, you're 35, and why are you fucking calling me? I'm not supposed to parent him, like, my 18 years is up. She had me for 18 years. She got one of your kids. She got you for 18 years.
Yeah, obviously
right?
They could
so
tailor it to their actual familial duties and their plans.
Right, but really, even when you look at the cycle, let's say you had 5, 6 kids, something like that.
Don't have that many children. Don't. You're just copy and pasting. Stop. Like, at that point, you're just, like, spewing just because you need to, like, self-control, people. Come on, guys. What's so offensive about that is that, like, you're choosing existence for another person, so in a sense you're culpable for the suffering they go through, especially if you can't like keep it together on their ass, you can't like support them properly. Like, you're accountable. Like, you guys treat it so goddamn casually. That's a that's a multiple lives defining decision. That's something that affects so many people for an entire lifetime. yet you guys want to sit here and talk about it like with your freaking haphazardly defined beliefs and crap. It's just, it really sucks, man. Like all the pain and suffering that occurs in life is just people doing shit to each other. A lot of it is. A lot of stuff happens to people, but I'd say most of the time, most problems that you're faced with in life are caused by other people, indirectly or directly. Like, let's take money, right? That's the only thing these animals care about, right? Money's a thing humans created. All right, that's a problem humans created, and they're depriving you of it despite you working and doing the things that you believe you're supposed to. Human problems. In fact, that's probably the stem to a lot of people's issues. It tends to boil down to monetary problems, which causes other things, right? Which is why I tend to never really have much sympathy for people who have excessive access to money. Like, you are still going through you still have to suffer, you still have to go through the same shit everyone else has to go through, but you have an accessibility to resources. You have something that makes it like you can more accessibly approach these problems. And you have more of an accessible degree of, well, distraction and, you know, something, the in-between, right? There's a difference between, you know, someone losing their job and then losing their house and every other opportunity, and somebody then losing their job and, oh, crap, now I got to sit home in my mansion for a couple months before, or however long until I can make more money. Or maybe I'm already making money just by doing that, even though I got fired, or whatever specific scenario. Point is, if you find a way to make money, and you can just sit on it, on a pile of money, you can just take money out whenever you need, like, you're good. And if you can't hack that, that's on you. That's your fault. But if you're poor and you face these same problems, like, yeah, that makes sense. And it's harder to blame you because you've kind of just been victimized by this disgusting world that this disgusting species built. A poor heroin addict? Who could have ever guessed that? A rich heroin addict? Robert Downey Jr.? Who gives a shit? Fuck him. Who cares? Iron Man. Make better movies. Be in better movies.
Discombobulate. Dazed. Discombobulate. Distract target. Discombobulate.
Most people won't. They'll have 2 or 3, right? But let's just assume it for the sake of assuming it. They usually spaced out by 2 or 3 years. Okay, so they don't need round-the-clock assistance after the first couple of years. They don't need that anymore. And then the older they get, when they get to, you know, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
He's just building very basic timeline of things and a sequence of events based on his own experiences. He's just get to a point, like an arguing point, please, instead of just building a narrative of which you're using to motivate your arguments.
Basically, every single year that goes, the less that you really have to focus on taking care of them, other than like basic meal things like this.
Or being a parent, like just being there, supporting, being an emotional soundboard. Like, there's way more to being a parent than just providing shit. It's funny how I have to tell the parent this. It's crazy. Jesus. How much you want to bet this guy's religious? To at least some degree. You'd lose that bet, motherfucker.
They can basically take care of themselves. They can
Of
brush
course,
their own
but
teeth,
if I've had
comb their own hair, everything.
Most mothers don't just... You don't,
it's not like they're 18 and they just fly away.
Well, I'm not saying...
Thank you! You acknowledged it! I'm really glad, actually. Like, in this clip, that was the one thing that lady on the left had to say next to the sex doll. Had to say, thank you! I mean, you got spoken over by the fat girl, but yes, thank you for acknowledging that. You don't just, like, your child doesn't suddenly just fucking... And then you're absolved of all your, like, duties, your parental duties. Jesus. They're gonna move on. They're not gonna address that.
Yeah, they are, but even then, when they're not flying away and they're 18, it's the man who's covering their bills then, too.
When they're not flying away and it's the man covering. It's whoever can bring in money to cover it. This is you contextualizing the reality through what you think and feel. This is the way it should be. Therefore, this is how it works. No. How you feel, the things that you think should be, has no bearing on how it works. What you think and feel means nothing. It is worthless. And things are just going to happen, all right? And you're going to continue to get more things wrong the more stupid crap you pull out of your ass.
So then, if a question for you, Farah.
I just had a different upbringing, so it's like I'm
man
that
covering their
outlier
bills. But even if the kid stays, now the man's still taking care of that, and the mom doesn't have to take care of it at all. No.
All right, stop talking. Like, you've proven that you just don't, like, you're just pulling stuff out of your butt. This is what I've been through, therefore this is how it works. Real scientific.
Not at all. Doesn't have to work, doesn't have to do anything, and the caregiving portion of it, that's gone. And the man's still working to take care of him, even if the kid doesn't
But
leave.
is the wife not taking care of you anymore either? Like,
don't play into his arguments. Don't agree with his frame. Just point out everything that's wrong about what he's saying. Like, hey, this is the way that you view it. This is the way you conduct it. If it's about fulfilling roles, technically anyone can fulfill any role as long as the result is the fulfillment of that role. Anyone could be the provider if they make money. Anyone could be the caretaker if they take care. Whoa! Ha! It's almost as if, like, you can do whatever you want in life, and it's not based on whether or not you have a cock or a clam. Holy shit. Oh my god. Oh man. I can't let this get to me. I just need to, like, it's sort of like National Geographic, right? You're kind of just like, just watching the animals flailing their viscous, like, goo.
Like, well, you know, cooking, cleaning,
but if you're like talking about what's equal, right? Isn't the wife supposed to be doing that?
No, I
right. So if she's supposed to be doing that as a baseline, you can't throw that in and say, well, it makes it more equal. That's just her job.
No,
shut up. You threw in everything that you pulled out of your butt. Now you're telling somebody else they can't just make up stuff? I hate that. This guy sucks.
I didn't say made it more equal. I was just asking if in your situation you're still expecting after all these things.
Oh, yeah. No, I expect breakfast made. I expect lunch made. I expect dinner made. I expect all of that. Yeah.
That's not a task. Like,
no, it's a task, but it seems like
you deserve to be compensated.
It doesn't seem very difficult compared to
$200.
But have you tried
I'm just catching up.
That name is a direct personification of your entire goddamn audience. Loose pussy energy. And he gave you $200 to say this. I'm just catching up. Major rare L for modest Simpica. Simpica? That 304 looks like R slurred Jasmine on crack. That's simp shit. She won't bang you. Also, can the panel pronounce miscognistic? Miscognistic. Hashtag I want smoke. The human race, ladies and gentlemen. No wonder why the suicide rates are so high.
Hashtag I want smoke.
What word are they? Misogynistic?
Yeah, we had a girl in the previous show totally butcher the pronunciation of that word. Thank you, LP. Appreciate it, man.
I don't know what any of these terms are. These are just... I know what L means. A major L, like you lost. Simpica. Is that a name? I haven't watched this full. I'm not going to. I'll watch just the clips, right? Always. Simp. Maybe that's her name. Let's just... Because it's like there's simp, right? That's another term. I thought maybe it was like some sort of like play on that or something. I mean, he just called it loose. His name's Loose Pussy Energy, so. And he paid $200 to share his stupid ass opinion. So, okay, I guess I'm just gonna presume Simpica's the name. That 304, like error code 304, or the weight, could just like, I mean, maybe like presume that that's their weight or something. R slurred Jasmine on crack. Oh, so like, oh, right, the R word. Retard. Jasmine on crack. That's simp. So, okay, so Simpica is the name. You actually just use the term simp later on. She won't bang you. Miscognistic. I'm done trying to figure out what that means. Life is just, it's just an abstraction. Like, it's undefinable, right? It's just...
What word are they? Misogynistic?
Yeah, we had a girl in the previous show totally butcher the pronunciation.
Oh, I'm like...
Oh, thanks for the context. Yeah, he's your fan base, right? So they're there for it all, right? To listen to all this mindless nonsense. Instead of, like, making progress in their life and trying to improve themselves and, like, so they don't have to, like... So this isn't a part of their life. This is a part of my life right now, because, right? But I'm benefiting from this. Not right, not much, not really.
Of that word. Thank you, LP. Appreciate it, man.
So anyway, yeah, when you just kind of like dive back in maybe to wrap this up or whatever, but...
Sorry, I know we said dial, but it sounded like diet. I'll just... Yeah,
when you're talking about her tasks and duties, no, I don't think her tasks and duties are draining. I think that she was able, in fact, to have so much additional time based on my labor that she was able to write a best-selling book, which is a best-selling book right now that you can buy. And you know who gets all of the royalties of that book? Me. Every bit of it. Oh. Every bit. She doesn't, and if she gets any of it, it's due to my largest. Why? Because I took care of her for the entirety of her life and took good care of my children for the entirety of their life.
I mean, this the way that he's defined his life, and the way that he's done. And of course, we're just going off of the stuff that he's saying right now. You could say anything. It has no bearing on what his children, what his wife actually legitimately thinks about him. Now, I'm not going to make any presumptions about that. Let's just take everything he's saying at surface value. Doing that, that's just the way that you go about it. That's your way of defining your relationship. And of course, I mean, it's just, again, I can't really expect him not to impose that on other people. I mean, I'm also presuming that he's religious, and I guarantee you he is. But let's just, grain of salt, let's just presume that he is, right? And just say that. I mean, great. That's a basic tenet of all religion, or all mindless nonsense, archaic superstitions. You kind of have to enforce it on other people for you to, like, feel like the way that you, the things that you believe in are validated, right? So you can feel like you're doing something right. Because if you're, you know, you just want to look out for other people. You just got to let them know how they got to do it right? And the way to do it is masculine and feminine roles instead of just doing whatever the hell you want and trying to build a life of which you enjoy, and you can actually, like, make progress and become who you want to be and disregard all that. Just do what you're told.
And do you have a plan for them after you die?
Of course. Assuming I'm the one who goes first, right? But you don't know how that'll go. But we're still looking at, we're still pretty young, right? Ultimately.
I just don't, like, when it comes to the whole tradition thing, I just don't understand, because, like, an 18-year-old woman, is she immediately going to have children? What if that relationship doesn't pan out? Yeah. So that's all the value is front loaded on the man, because not every relationship is going to culminate in having children.
Yeah.
So
it's aligned with the way I date. So for instance, I'm not currently dating. I'm not on dating apps. Next time I date, I'm dating to marry. So that's more.
But you're an outlier, I guess, in that regard.
Thank you, at least, Brian, for sticking to the point and talking about the way that she defines it, right? Thank you for keeping us on topic instead of letting that frickin' greaseball trail us off for 10 years.
Dating to marry.
Sorry, for 18 years, and then you're good.
Sure, yeah, that's why I also mentioned the fact that I have more traditional values, perhaps, with dating goals.
But
like, I'm not dating for experience.
Yet you call yourself a feminist? Two intrinsic aspects to your identity that are, intrinsically contradictory. Good luck.
Have traditional values, but you claim to have traditional values, but you wouldn't take your husband's last name, which is a traditional value. You do OnlyFans, which is not traditional.
Mm-hmm. I thought you would have pointed to how she expects the guy to be making as much or more than her, which is pretty unrealistic, especially if she's an OnlyFans model. Maybe we'll get to that point.
Because my view is part of traditionality is modesty.
Sure, I don't think I need to subscribe to the entire, you know.
Yeah, it's like a religion. You just pick and choose the crap that makes you feel good, right? Because that's how it works. You can just make up stuff. It's life. You can do whatever the hell you want. Nothing matters. Nothing matters. So you're all good, right? This video is 20 minutes. And we're 11 minutes. Wow. We made beautiful progress. 57 minutes recorded, 11 minutes into the video. Next time on whenever that happens.